In today's video, we are going to be going over case study 5, validating elements not used in diagrams. So this covers two different types of things. One, validation rules. So validation rules can be used to check all sorts of things in the model. In this case, we're going to be testing whether an element has been used in a diagram. And to do that, we're going to be using a built-in function that's a part of the CATIA magic opaque behaviors. And we're going to use it as an operation from the model. In this case, usage in diagrams with symbols. Um, there was a usage in diagrams before that's deprecated. This one replaces it, and this is the one that we'll be using today. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing I'll do is go ahead and create a package, case 5, validating elements not used in diagram. Okay, and then we want to create a validation suite. So I'm going to create a package, and I'm going to call this package. So when you're creating a validation suite, it's important to make it stand out amongst the other validation suites so that you know which one to use. So I'm going to go into Analyze, Validation, and Validate, and we can see all of the different validation suites. So we've got composition integrity, diagram merge, pins displaying, relationship ownership. So for this one, I'm going to probably call this elements, not used elements. Okay, and we're going to give that a stereotype of validation suite. Okay, and now we're going to create a constraint. And there's multiple ways you can do that. We're going to go into the specifications and go into constraints and create the constraint here. And we want this to just be a regular constraint. And we want to apply a stereotype to it. And this will be validation rule. And then we want to name this element. So in this case, we're going to call it elements not on diagram. And I'm just using camel case here. Okay, now we are going to go into its specification, and we're going to give an abbreviation. Call this one not used. And then an error message. And for error message, we'll just say the element is not used on any diagram. Okay. So now we need some logic. So we are going to go in here under constrained element. We are going to change this to a block. This is the most probably relevant model element to be on diagrams. So this is the one we're going to use for this. You can add actions or other elements if you like. And then we are going to go to specification. Specification, and we're going to change this to a structured expression. So scroll up, and then we will go to create operation, and we're going to find not. Then we are going to reset that and find is empty. And similarly, we are going to do another operation from the model. In this case, we're going to be using the usage in diagrams with symbols. And this is the deprecated version that I talked about earlier. So let's go ahead and select this. And for the element type, we will just reset this to be the contextual variable this. And now we are ready to try it out. So let's go ahead and save this, and we will analyze, validate, and not used elements, and we hit validate. And so it looks like all of the elements that we have currently, all of the blocks at least, are on a diagram. So now we can add a new block to test this out. Call it the not used block. And let's go ahead and run this again. And we can see that this block is not used on any diagram. So this kind of also gives us a little bit more belief that this actually is working. Because when I originally saw that all the elements were being used, I questioned that, but apparently in this case it's true, and we just verified that by creating a block and seeing that it isn't used on any diagram, and then having that validated by the validation rule.